is how to sell a house in California without spending thousands on attorney's fees. We get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in all of California. I'm Brendan Mohr, Realtor, Masters Club Life member, and certified probate and trust specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And I'm Bill Heyman. I'm a licensed California professional fiduciary, as well as I'm a licensed California real estate broker. And I'm also a registered and bonded legal document assistant specializing in probate and trust administration work.
Now go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you've got a house to sell, we can help you avoid the cost and headache of probate and trust administration. Those services come with the listing at a phenomenal discount with no upfront fees, saving families thousands in costs. We can even help with the petition to determine succession, the primary residence process. Our contact info is in the About section. Don't wait, reach out today. So you have a house to sell in probate and you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on attorney's fees. Now you've inherited a house, it's in probate in California. You may be worried it's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. Now, this is something we hear all the time, but the good news is you don't have to spend that kind of money in order to get that house sold.
Right.
And you want to stay with me till the end because we will talk about how we have buyers for any house, any condition, anyways. So that'll help to take away from some of that fear. I'll get into that and how you can take advantage of that later. But Bill, it is a real fear, and we hear it all the time. I can't afford the legal fees.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we ever going to sell the house? And the fear is real, but the truth is you have options.
Absolutely, you do. You know, it's interesting. In our society, I think we are taught or we are expected to know that anytime any legal issue comes up, you have to go to an attorney. And that's really not true. Attorneys definitely have their place and there are times that they are needed. But in California especially, you're not required to have an attorney to go through probate. And I would say at least 50%, probably a higher percentage of probates don't need an attorney to go through probate. You can probate the estate yourself, although it can get a little difficult doing it yourself, especially the further along you get. But you do have options. There are what we call legal document assistants out there that can help you through with the paperwork on the probate process at a far less cost than what attorneys charge. I am, as I think our audience knows, a registered and bonded legal document assistant and do probates all the time. But basically what we do is we do all the paperwork for you, get the probate done at substantial savings compared to what attorneys charge. Our clients on average, if they use our services, will save about $10,000 and oftentimes more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have options. Really, the three options are use an attorney, which is the most expensive. You can use a legal document assistant, such as what I am, which is going to save you tremendously. You can attempt to do it yourself without any help at all. But as I said, it may seem easy at first, but the further along you get in probate, the more tangled web gets weaved. For sure. And we've had situations where, people have come to us and had this fear about not being able to afford to use an attorney and pay all the legal costs. And, you can tell us about situations we've had.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we have so many. I'll just pick a situation of very recently. They came to us, they could not afford an attorney. There were upfront fees. And then they're thinking about how much this is going to cost them. The attorneys typically charge the statutory fee that's written into the probate code, which is pretty significant.
Yep.
They came to us and their payout was nearly $50,000 more than what they expected at the end because of our service. And this was a pretty large state. And that was pretty incredible for them. So instead of paying for all of that, they got the full guidance through the probate and they pay for it at a fraction of the cost and the house sold very quickly.
Yeah, and like you said, they received $50,000 more than they would otherwise have received. So
yeah, absolutely. Now, maybe we should just go through some quick little bullet points here of how to sell without the huge legal fees. Some key ways here: simply use a team that knows the probate process and can guide you through the paperwork. A non-attorney service, like say what Bill does here.
Yeah. And you can, especially our team, you work with a team that will either reduce or defer your costs entirely until the probate home sells, so that you don't have to come up with any money out of pocket.
Yeah, that is very, very good. And one big factor here that there needs to be is that all heirs are agreeable.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not fighting, because the more you're fighting, the more you actually really should seek legal advice
And
and talk to an attorney.
Yeah.
And then it'll take your services out of it, because now you're fighting in court. Probate can be, and often is, and we've seen it many times, and you've probated thousands of estates, really a simple process if everybody is agreeable and nobody's fighting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if you get into a situation where the heirs and beneficiaries are fighting and you do have to bring attorneys into the picture, everybody's going to lose out, because the money that's spent on attorneys is coming out of all of the heirs' pocket, out of the estate. So you're better off not fighting, much better off.
Yeah. So essentially, find yourself a team that does the probate for less, a legal document assistant specializing in probate. That's what Bill does. And this is exactly what our service is. Basically, when you list the house with us, we will probate the estate at a fraction of what an attorney will charge. We will market that house just like we market any house, market it professionally. Plus, we put in the extra layer of the probate side of it to market effectively in probate. We get that house sold faster than you would ever expect.
Yeah, just as Brendan said, when you decide to list the probate home with our services, you're going to get a huge, substantial discount on the cost of the probate. Absolutely.
And one big thing is, because we're doing this all the time, we already have buyers for your house. If you're looking to sell very fast, we have buyers like investors, families looking for a home that's maybe a fixer, that kind of thing. We have that for you. I always recommend, let's try to put it on the market, and that's usually where you're going to end up getting the best overall price.
Right.
But if you have anxiety about that, we have buyers for you. And not every realtor can do this. Probate sales are different. You need someone who knows both real estate and probate well enough to keep things moving, and that's where we specialize. So if you've inherited a probate house, please just give us a call. And if you're worried about thousands in attorney's fees, call us today. I'll show you how we can get the house sold and we can reduce those probate costs. Anything you'd like to add on this?
I think you've about covered it. I would just, what you said, if you're out there and you've got a situation where you've got to go through probate and you've got a probate home that needs to be sold, give us a call. The worst that can happen is we'll save you a lot of money.
There you go. Thanks for watching.